Hey everyone, good morning. James Azar here with CyberHub Engage. I hope for those who had Martin Luther King Day off, you enjoyed your long weekend, an extra day of rest. For those who were actually working, welcome back to Tuesday. It is Tuesday, January 21st, and here are our headlines for your daily cyber briefing. 160,000 data breaches have been reported already. Mitsubishi Electric discloses a security breach. DDoS mitigation firm founder admits to DDoS. And Emotet Malware dabbles in extortion with a new spam template. And now for your daily cyber briefing, brought to you by our friends at Get Smart Eye. Go to Get Smart Eye to download the first of its kind biometric document data app for sharing sensitive documents with the eyes of the people who you only want to see it. You can go to our website at cyberhubengage.com, click on the Get Smart Eye banner, and that'll take you right to where you need to go to be one of the first beta testers of this amazing app. And now let's get into today's stories. Over 160,000 data breach notifications have been made to authorities in the 18 months since Europe's new digital privacy regulation came into force, and the number of breaches and other security incidents being reported is also on the rise. Analysis by law firm DLA Piper found that after the GDPR came into force on the 25th of May of 2018, the first 8 months saw an average of 247 breach notifications per day. In the time since, this has risen to an average of 278 notifications a day. The GDPR data breach survey also calculates the total cost of GDPR-related fines paid so far to be at 114 million euros, around 126 million US dollars. The largest fine paid so far was one of 50 million issued by the French Data Protection Authority, CNIL, to Google over infringements around transparency and consent. The UK Information Commissioner's Office has issued 2 larger fines relating to data protection infringements, but currently neither of the organizations involved have come to a final agreement over the payments. In July of last year, British Airways was issued a £183 million, which is around $238 million fine following cyber attacks against its systems, which resulted in personal details of around 500,000 customers being stolen by hackers. Following what was described as an extensive investigation, the ICO concluded that information was compromised by poor security arrangements at British Airways. At the time, the airline made it clear that it was not happy with the fine, stating it was surprised and disappointed. And then just a short day later, the ICO issued a fine of 99 million pounds, 124 million US dollars, to Marriott hotels for the data breach, which exposed the personal details of 339 million. That's right, folks, million, not 500,000, 339 million guests around the world, including 30 million European citizens and 7 million UK citizens. Hackers breached Starwood Hotels in 2014. That hotel chain was subsequently purchased by Marriott in 2016, but the breach wasn't disclosed and patched until 2018. A statement from Marriott at the time of the penalty notice said the company was deeply disappointed by the proposed fine. Both Marriott and British Airways are appealing their fines, and they should. British Airways shouldn't have to pay more money than Marriott for a breach that affected not nearly the same amount of people. British Airways was 500,000 people total. Marriott, 30 million European citizens, 339 global people. Are you kidding me? This is the problem with GDPR. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's just a bad law. It's just bad. Horrible. Under GDPR, organizations can be fined up to 4% of their annual turnover if they've been found to be irresponsible with security following a data breach. Despite this, it's believed that just 1/3 of the organizations are really fully GDPR compliant. The total amounts of fines of 114 million euros imposed to date is relatively low compared to the potential maximum fines that can be imposed under GDPR, indicating that we are still in the early days of enforcement. So we have another podcast called Goodbye Privacy. Second season really kicks off in 10 days, and you really want to tune in. But you want to subscribe and listen to my whole episode on GDPR before and what it really is. This is outrageous. I picked this story as our opening story because as I was reading it, I was getting agitated. So we have, obviously, we have a problem. 278 breaches being reported a day. That's not bad security. That's just people not having the money to be able to protect their business. That's, at least what I want to believe, is no one wants to be hacked. But we know that it's not if, it's when. And so these companies are going through challenging times, and now they got to deal with European Big Brother. Man, Europe, why? I'll never live there. I'm not sure I even want to connect on a flight in Europe anymore at this rate. And now to our next story, data breach alert. In a short statement published yesterday on its website, Mitsubishi Electric, one of the world's largest electronics and electrical equipment manufacturing firm, disclosed a major security breach. Although the breach occurred last year on June 28th and an official internal investigation began in September, the Tokyo-based corporation disclosed the security incident yesterday, only after two local newspapers, the Asahi Shimbun and Nikkei, published stories about the hack. The Asahi Shimbun shares the name with one of my favorite beers. Both publications blamed the intrusion on a Chinese-linked cyber espionage group named Tick, or Bronze Butler, because, you know, we can't just give someone one name. We're like all kinds of names. Tick, or Bronze Butler, known to the cybersecurity industry for targeting Japan over the past few years, and according to the reports in local media, the intrusion was detected after Mitsubishi Electric staff found a suspicious file on one of the company's servers. The intrusion was later tracked to a compromised employee account. Unauthorized access began with affiliates in China and spread to bases in Japan, according to Asahi. The newspaper said hackers escalated their access from this initial entry point to Mitsubishi Electric's internal system, gaining access to the networks of around 14 company departments, such as sales and the head of the administrative office. The two newspapers also reported that hackers stole sensitive data from the company's internal networks. In particular, Nikkei reported that hackers compromised tens of PCs and servers in Japan and overseas, from where they stole around 200 megabytes of files, predominantly business documents. Mitsubishi Electric did not deny that the data exfiltration took place, but only denied that the intruders stole data on its business partners and defense contracts. The company said it's still investigating the incident, and according to open source reporting, the attackers appeared to have deleted access logs, slowing down the investigation. In Japan, the incident is being treated with the utmost severity. Mitsubishi Electric is one of Japan's biggest defense and infrastructure contractors, with active projects within the Japanese military and also telecommunications, railway, and the electrical grid. Before going public with the news yesterday, Mitsubishi Electric had also notified members of the Japanese government and Ministry of Defense, this according to the two newspapers as well. Big story out of Japan. This is the kind of story where I'll be investigating it a bit more, trying to get you guys a little bit more updates. This has significant regional impacts, especially if this is attributed to China and there's actual proof of that. So more on that hopefully in the next few weeks as we continue to investigate. Before we proceed, though, I want to remind you all, good, nice people listening, watching us on YouTube Live right now, join us in Dallas on February 4th for our live audience podcast recording with show favorites for our Saturday specials, Mark Hopp, the CISO at DataBank, and Patrick Benoit, the BISO at CBRE. And Pat and I have a great topic we're going to be sharing with y'all around how do we create a secure cyberspace. We've been working on this paper around aviation and security and what can we learn from aviation that we can apply to cyber. Pat's a pilot, an aviation fanatic. I'm an aviation fanatic for those who don't know. And so it's going to be a very, very fun conversation. And we've also got a podcast with Mark and a few surprise guests that will be joining us. So make sure you pre-register now at cyberhubengage.com. Tickets go on sale soon. I know they were supposed to go on sale Friday. I've gotten a few messages like, hey, what's going on? Well, we're just finalizing our location this week. We should be ready to, once we have the location finalized, we'll be putting out our tickets sale information for you all to enjoy. That's it for that promotion. Now let's get to a story close and fond to us here at CyberHub Engage, and in just a moment you'll understand why. a Georgia man who co-founded a service designated to protect companies from crippling DDoS attacks, has pleaded to paying a DDoS for hire service to launch attacks against others. That's right, folks. Tucker Preston, 22, of Macon, Georgia, where Micah's from. Sorry, Micah. Pleaded guilty last week in a New Jersey court to one count of damaging protected computers by transmission of a program, code, or command. This story has broken thanks to cybersecurity influencer fan favorite Brian Krebs. Preston was featured in the 2016 Krebs on Security story DDoS Mitigation firm has history of hijacks, which detailed how a company that he co-founded, BackConnect Security, has developed the unusual habit of hijacking internet address space it didn't own in a bid to protect clients from attacks. Preston's guilty plea agreement doesn't specify who he admitted attacking and refers to the target only as Victim 1. Preston did not comment to Brian Krebs on the story, but that 2016 story came on the heels of an exclusive about the hacking of VDOS, at the time the world's most popular and powerful DDoS for hire service. Krebs on Security exposed the co-administrators of VDOS and obtained a copy of the entire VDOS database, including its registered users, and a record of the attacks those users had paid VDOS to launch on their behalf. Those records showed that several email addresses tied to a domain registered by then 19-year-old Preston had been used to create a VDOS account that was active in attacking a large number of targets, including multiple assaults on networks belonging to the Free Software Foundation. The 2016 story on BackConnect featured an interview with a former system administrator at FSF, who said the nonprofit briefly considered working with BackConnect, and that the attacks started almost immediately after FSF told the company's owners they would need to look elsewhere for DDoS protection. Perhaps having fun at the expense of FSF was something of a meme that the accused and his associates seized upon. But it's interesting to note that the name of FSF's founders, Richard Stallman, was used as a nickname by the co-author of Mirai, a potent malware strain that was created for the purpose of enslaving Internet of Things devices for large-scale DDoS attacks. Ultimately, it was the Mirai co-author's use of this nickname that contributed to him getting caught, arrested, and prosecuted for releasing Mirai and its source code, as well as facilitating a record-setting DDoS attack against this website in 2016. According to a statement from the Department of Justice, the count to which he pleaded guilty is punishable by a maximum of 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000 or twice the gross gain or loss from the offense. The sentencing is slated now for May 7th. Interesting story, and just kind of lets you know we've talked about this a little bit, and in one of our interviews on our Saturday specials, we spoke to Michael Daughtry of LabMD. A definite podcast you want to go listen to of how predatory vendor behavior and predatory legal behavior by attorneys took down a cancer screening company and put them out of business. If you haven't heard the podcast or read Michael's book, you want to do both if you're in security, because it definitely talks to the ethics of our industry and the need for us to hold each other accountable. And finally, for our final story for today, the Emotet malware has started using a spam template that pretends to be extortion. Sorry, folks. That pretends to be an extortion demand from a hacker who states that they hacked the recipient's computer and stole their data. You can see these messages that we have on our screen now, or you can see them on our LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter page at CyberHub Engage. Emotet is spread through spam emails that commonly use templates based around a particular theme, such as shipping information, voicemails, scanned documents, reports, and invoices. The threat actors will send out email templates that reflect approaching holidays, such as Christmas party and Halloween invites, trending current events, such as an invite to a Greta Thunberg demonstration. How dare you! The goal of all of these emails is to trick the recipient into opening an attached Word document that will attempt to download and install the Emotet malware onto the computer. Emotet will then use the infected computer to send further malicious spam and to download and install other malware onto the device. Since the summer of 2018, scammers have been sending out extortion emails that stated the recipient's computer was hacked and that an attacker recorded a video of the recipient while on adult sites. The email then threatens to send the video to the recipient's friends and family if they don't pay the scammers $500 to $3,000 extortion payment. These emails are a scam and the attackers do not have any video, but it scares enough people that they made over $50,000 in just one simple week. In a new template shared by security researchers Execute Malware, the Emotet operators have started to use similar extortion templates that states your computer hacked in all caps and that the recipient's data was stolen. The email goes on to tell the user to open the attachment documents for instructions on how to pay $50 or $100 for their stolen data, or it will be sold on the black market for just 10 simple dollars. If the user opens the documents, they will be shown the standard Emotet malicious document template that states the recipient needs to enable content to properly view the document. Once the document is opened, a PowerShell command will be executed that downloads and installs the Emotet Trojan on the computer. Even worse, after some time, Emotet will download the TrickBot information stealing Trojan, which will begin to steal your login credentials, sensitive file, browser history, and much more. On high-value networks, TrickBots, also known to partner with the RIAC ransomware actors, will open a reverse shell back to them so that the RIAC operators can encrypt the entire network. Due to the severity of the Emotet infections, users need to be wary of any strange emails they receive, especially ones containing word attachments. Instead of opening an attachment, they should contact the sender directly to confirm they sent the email, or at least share it with their network administrators first so that it can be opened in a controlled environment. For those who wish to learn more about Emotet or its latest developments, we recommend that you follow the Cryptolamus group on Twitter. Cryptolamus is a group of cybersecurity researchers who provide frequent updates on this malware's activity so that other researchers and network administrators can be better protected against this very threat. So, good job to the Cryptolamus group. You can go to our Twitter page. We'll have them tagged in this specific post so you can follow them. And make sure you tell your friends to follow us because we find these guys and we bring them right to you. That's it for our daily cyber briefing today. Make sure you subscribe, give us 5 stars. If you're on YouTube, give us thumbs up. Share this with your friends so that more people tune in. In a few short weeks, we'll start a Q&A segment after we finish this exclusively to our YouTube subscribers and those tuning in, so we can go into a further discussion on some of the stories and we can really dig deep. Make sure you follow us on your favorite social media platform by looking up CyberHub Engage, where you can get updates, stories, and so much more. That's it for today. We'll be back with a lot more tomorrow. Until then, stay cyber safe.